Yo! Video games.
Anyway, hi.
Hey, but enough about that movie. The Mario movie.
The
We
Mario
saw it.
movie has been witnessed.
You have a
Yes.
tiara.
Yeah, you didn't know?
And it was
Where'd you get that?
I just found it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't mind.
It was. It was pretty good.
The movie was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So, yeah, I guess we can go for overall impressions.
Yeah.
I thought it was delightful.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
a movie that just makes you feel really good, you know?
Mhm.
And like I kind of appreciated that it was a bit different than a usual like Illumination kids movie. Like
Oh, yeah.
there was a lot of like, we're gonna die and I'm gonna kill you
Yeah.
in this film.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like gave it an interesting tone and kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like a different tone than any Mario thing has ever had before.
Yeah.
But also was like sort of like they're definitely catering towards like adults, even though it is a kids movie for sure.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that weird star that was.
Yeah, no, that's
Existential dread star. Yeah, I'm like, kids aren't going to get these jokes,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not gonna get that.
There was a lot of that throughout the movie, and I kind of like appreciated it. I laughed out loud several times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, same.
Yeah. It was very much like in line with what they. The only thing that was sort of like, I guess, somewhat of a not a twist, but like, so they do set it initially in the real world.
Yes.
Like they are plumbers in Brooklyn.
Yes.
So they are kind of like going back to that, which
They actually give Mario an origin story now.
yeah, because like the games never had a Brooklyn plumber. Like the shows
No,
did.
the shows did.
The old movie did.
They should have given Mario his real origin story, which is whipping Donkey Kong's father.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like the DK Jr. like origin story. Jeez. Yeah, cranky having anger issues with that. That's a whole. That would be a whole different movie.
That's a very different movie.
That's a very different film there from what they went with. So,
But yeah, I feel like the way they tied in like a Mario and Peach origin story was actually kind of sweet.
Yes.
I think the way they did it was handled pretty well and with enough tact.
Oh, 100%. Because, like, the thing is, you don't, like, it made me like the more of the Mario universe, right? Because, like,
Yeah.
whenever you play the Mario games, it's Bowser's bad, he's doing things again, go stop him, you know? Like, it's not like a Zelda, but, like, this gave it a little bit more heart. You get to know a little bit more about the Mario Brothers. It links in, like the OG show, but it's done very well. It made me like, oh, wow, I like the universe a lot more. I like it. It like, you know, it gives a lot more character to characters like Bowser, to characters like Mario and Luigi, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I had like a little concern, but like it's not like a big thing. It's just like I think the chemistry between Chris Pratt and Charlie Day was so good that I would like to see them.
A lot of people are saying the same thing.
That's my
only
Mario
and Luigi.
Yes, that's only critique.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a bunch of Turbo nerds that are going to be like, oh, well, now it's Peach and she's doing all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, Peach has been good in Mario 2 and Smash Brothers and stuff like that.
Peach was definitely Daisy in this movie.
Yeah, she was a bit Daisy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the world building. Like,
Yeah.
man, they really showed us what Mario World was. You know what I mean? Like, they actually were able
Mushroom
to,
Kingdom was real.
Mushroom Kingdom, the Bowser Kingdom, the Donkey Kong Kingdom. I didn't even know you had a kingdom. Like, what the hell?
Well, that's kind of
that's sort of shoehorned in.
for the movie.
That was for the movie. So I was going to say, I don't think Donkey Kong ever had
Because
like
they don't really tie in that much to the
kingdom
most
of
part.
other, like, you know.
DK lives on DK Island.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
That's kind of it.
Okay.
And they're definitely trying to like overarch, keep everything in a continuity.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, so we can have a Donkey Kong movie. We can have a movie about Tetris Land. I don't know. Like they can do that now.
Right.
Yeah.
And they never had a penguin, right? There was never like a penguin.
There's Ice Worlds.
Ice World.
Like Mario 64 is where that's pulling from.
games.
Okay, that's where it's all coming
Um,
from. Yeah.
The penguins are from games. They exist. Like
Really,
there's like nothing in this movie that doesn't exist in a game.
Jeez,
somewhere.
yeah.
they really pulled world building on there, and I think I think they got it from the Mario world at Universal or Disneyland or
Yeah.
Well, a little bit, like,
They
you
got a
know,
lot of that
it ties
It feels
in.
like they are naturally symbiotic with each other.
Oh, 100%.
Where it's like the creative that was going behind the shit that's going down at Universal with the movie was clearly in talks with each other as they were coming up with stuff.
It's a lot of it's all very much just like the post 2008 2009 after New Super Mario
Mario
got
Brothers.
established. There's a specific look
Yep.
that was established, and there's even like an internal department at Nintendo now for like consistency.
Yep.
And it's been that way for 14
That
years
that
or
look
so.
is the new Super Mario Brothers on DS.
Yeah,
When that game came out, I played it. It was actually really good. I forget.
Oh, yeah.
I keep forgetting, that's actually a Mario game I've played to completion. I keep forgetting I've done that. But it was fantastic because it was a return back to 2D Mario. And yes, everything has looked like that since then.
Yeah. And I like the world. I like Steven's world. I like hearing them like in Brooklyn and stuff like that. I like that.
Mario's Italian ass family and stuff.
Italian family,
Quite a bit, stereotypical in many ways. But like Mario is fucking Mario because of that.
Yes.
So they almost like can't really stray away from it too much.
There's a weird thing. I think the only weirdest thing was like, they had this running joke that Mario doesn't like mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he doesn't like to eat them.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
It was used for comedic effect. And I was like, I'm surprised
That's
they would
the Popeye thing. That's the Popeye thing where
Yeah.
Disney
They have to
spinach.
eat shit to power up, and
Right.
instead
Well,
Mario has the opposite effect.
in the cartoon, Popeye loves spinach, but in the movie,
live action movie
with
Robin Williams,
he hated it until the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was the whole.
Mario is funny because Mario's just a replacement for Popeye. Like,
Yeah.
they couldn't get the rights to Popeye, so they turned it into Mario or OC, and then they got the rights to Popeye to make a Popeye game. But yes,
I remember the damn
Speaking
Popeye
of
game.
rights, I thought Disney had the rights to Nintendo Land.
Nah.
So it's been Universal
No,
forever.
we walked by Miyamoto when he was filming that initial shot in 2018 or 2017. It was the first time I went to Universal Studios Florida, and then we ate at the Hard Rock,
Right.
and then we walked because we went from Islands Adventure went to Hard Rock to eat, and then we went to Universal Studios proper Florida. But there's a big filming crew out in front of us. Miyamoto was there that day.
Bastard.
We walked right past them as they were on their lunch break.
How funny.
And then I got home and they're like, "Oh, man, Miyamoto was spotted in Orlando," and it was right in front of that. And I was like, "Oh, so that's what all that filming stuff
How
was."
funny. So they were essentially scouting for park expansion.
Yeah, and that was the announcement of that they were doing the movie, they're doing the parks,
Gotcha.
they were doing all that. So
So this has been in the works for a long time.
yes, this movie kind of sat in production, pre-production for a while.
Yeah.
Before it actually got going. And I think that's because, again, the look of this movie is that very consistent with the current era, last 10, 14 years of Mario.
Sure.
Yeah.
We want it to look like that.
But-
It doesn't have like these contrasting art styles. Like it is.
But it's a little stylized though. Like Bowser's a bit stylized.
Yeah, they go a little.
And Mario's a little bit stylized.
I appreciate
Right, yeah.
that character-wise, they actually pushed some, characterization a bit instead of like, how the hell do you make a story about a little like Italian stereotype guy that jumps on shit?
Yeah.
Like how do you actually like turn that into a character and a story? And I think they did a pretty good job of like making Mario kind of like endearing and sweet and like even Princess Peach to a degree.
Yeah.
I like what they did with these characters to make them like,
because you never
relate to
really
each
get that
other.
in the game.
You don't get any of that
You don't
ever.
get any of that game.
No, that was terrible. You know what was good? The John Leguizamo version. That
Oh,
was
yeah,
way
That was way better.
Way better.
I like the shrunken head Koopas.
Yeah, that's
Koopas,
just.
yeah.
I was trying to watch that movie, and it's
Trying.
streaming nowhere.
really?
It's unstreamable right
it's
now.
on YouTube, dude.
Yeah, I looked on YouTube, and it's all of them been taken down. People have it in like 90 pieces,
Oh,
but then
really?
like 40 pieces are missing in the middle. So me and JJ started watching part 1 through 3, and then it just cut out. And I was like, oh
Really?
man,
Oh,
because we wanted to watch the
love
OG
to see
Mario
it.
movie.
Yeah.
Because it was
I'd
one of the
love
most
to
bought DVDs on Amazon recently.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's why it's like get it out. People are buying it.
Yeah, we remember watching that. It's not good.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not on Amazon at all? So you have to,
You can buy the DVD. You have to buy the DVD.
But wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
But it's funny. Like you said with Mario, I like what they did with Bowser. Bowser was so much
Yeah.
more animated.
Yeah.
He was like vulnerable. He was sad. He was happy. He was mean. You get a lot more life out of Bowser than you ever see in the games.
There's a lot of stuff though that they're taking from the 3D Marios, and I thought this was really interesting.
Yeah.
And no one's talked about this in the credits. They do credit Iwata, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a 3 credits listing, like it was like the first Nintendo people listed besides Miyamoto, and it was Shintaro Furukawa, their current president, and then it was Yoshiaki Koizumi and Takashi Tezuka. Those two are basically the main guys who've directed the 2D and the 3D. We're talking Mario 3's director,
Big tenure.
Mario World's director, and then Koizumi, who's been the 3D Mario directors ever since
Galaxy and shit.
well, he was assistant director on 64 and then Sunshine forward.
Gotcha.
And he's the one who's also kind of pushed these story beats with like Mario 3D World, Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey. So
Yeah,
he
especially
came
in
from,
Galaxy.
And he came from a film background.
There's a lot. I remember all
yeah.
the stories about Galaxy getting way more story, you know,
Yeah.
and that was at the behest of Miyamoto at the time.
Yeah,
When did Mario start focusing on story of Mario? Because
Galaxy,
Galaxy?
really, like
you could argue
Galaxy's.
RPG, but it's a spin-off.
Yeah, but RPG, like the whole point is that it's a story
Yeah,
game.
makes sense.
But
But
like
really,
Mario doesn't talk in the Mario RPG series, any of them.
Link, yeah.
if you want to talk about one that actually has like they're trying to tell a narrative of some kind, it's actually Mario Galaxy, and one of the I forget what they're called. One of Rosalina's pufferfish Luma things is in the movie, and that's the star thing that's trapped inside.
Gotcha.
The existential dread star.
Yeah.
So
like you can see with like Galaxy because like Kamek is like Bowser's right hand man in Galaxy. He's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. He's like in the movie here, and then Bowser's whole wedding.
Yeah, they're keeping the wedding thing,
like
which is a big part of Odyssey. Right? Is that Odyssey?
Yeah.
Where it's a wedding, yeah.
Here's the
There's
thing.
Odyssey stuff. There's
a spoiler. Like, this movie is like, it's not like, there's not a big, oh my God, twist or anything. It's a Mario adventure, right? There's going to be no spoilers. I mean,
we can put a spoiler tag right before we said that somewhere on here.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's just like, point A to point B.
I didn't know that was going to happen, so that's fair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that there was going to be a wedding.
I could have sworn I've seen Bowser in that wedding suit before.
Yeah, we played it.
in Odyssey.
We played it
Really?
on Video Games. We all played it.
That's why I felt familiar.
when the Switch first came out.
So it was a nod. It
was just a reference.
100%.
Okay.
Peach has the same wedding dress.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
A lot of that stuff
So
is
what was the context of the original? Just curious.
That Bowser's trying to kidnap Peach to marry her.
Oh, so
That's literally it.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's not much, and he's also like enslaved a race of sentient hat people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
something like that. Yeah.
But
there's a lot of Bowser and Peachisms in this movie definitely come from Koizumi's run on 3D Mario's, which is why I think he had such high accrediting on the movie as like a consultant or whatever.
So since we're in spoiler territory, I would say that the thing that actually I'm still like kind of like what the heck's going on? Princess Peach. She is canonically human in the games as well.
Well, that's the cool thing that they do world building wise with the characters is that Peach comes from a different universe at a young age, and essentially is adopted by the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
There's a Doki Doki Panic reference in that.
Is it really?
When she's like training and she's in her teen years and she's wearing that weird like puffy pants and vest.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, that's like the costume from one of the characters.
Because
Mario 2?
Yeah, because I'm like, that's a Doki Doki costume. Isn't
Wow,
it?
that's wild.
I was like,
So that's the thing that I really appreciate about the film. Yeah. There's so much like love and care put into it. It feels like no, we really give a shit about this. It wasn't like 100%. We got the Mario movie license. We're gonna ignore everything Miyamoto says and all these Nintendo guys, these weirdos. We're just gonna do whatever the hell we want. We're gonna turn it into like there's gonna be like green dudes running. I'm sorry, green dudes running around. We're gonna turn Yoshi's into minions.
No. John Leguizamo, who's winning.
John Leguizamo.
So No, you know what? You know what did it for me? When you knew there was love in it, when they actually had the original voice actor in the arcade playing the damn game.
That was Simmons had to tell me that Ralph Montague, Peter Montague,
Charles
Martinelli.
Jesus.
Got it.
Almost. You're there.
The original Mario voice has 2 accredited roles in the movie, and it's literally Mario's father, which makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
And the original Jumpman, who's like there at the beginning to
playing
just
game.
He's like playing an old game.
He's at the end. And he's at the end.
Yeah, he has a little thing at the end too.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is wonderful.
That's love.
Yeah,
That's
Mario's father.
The world building part of it is great. How they try to actually give characters origin.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Mario is from a real, because it always has been weird that Mario, Luigi, and Peach are like the only, and Daisy obviously, the only human characters in this weird ass mushroom world. Right. And Koopa and Mushroom
I didn't
world.
know if it was canon if they were from the world.
No, that's never been talked about.
Never been talked about, and like in the movie. But we talked about the voice, and I gotta say it.
Voice acting was great.
Chris Pratt did an amazing job.
Yeah.
I think he was fine.
Yeah. So the funniest...
I don't think... I'm not sitting there like, oh, amazing. He's like,
amazing.
Robin Williams is a genius. Nah, he was fine.
Yeah, you know what threw me off was Seth Rogen.
Oh, really?
I thought he did a really good job, too.
I just felt like it didn't fit Donkey Kong at all. Like the
I
only
didn't
thing that fit was
I
his
didn't
laugh.
hate it.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I'm
just found it
I'm
fit.
kind of
I
okay
like
with it.
the chemistry that they had, though. They're like, I hate you.
Well, yes, because they know
like,
each other.
Yeah.
Like they know each other.
But like,
So,
I think Chris Pratt just did good. Like his voice.
I thought it didn't really sound like him 99% of the time.
It was a good blend of like
Every so often you hear a little bit of
Every
a
so
little bit.
often.
Yeah,
But the thing
yeah,
is,
yeah.
like, he did what a voice actor is supposed to do, and like, it's not a guy.
It wasn't shoehorned in.
Yeah,
it wasn't just
shoehorned in. It wasn't,
Say
Adam
something.
Sandler.
Yes,
I was gonna say.
it wasn't
Adam
Chris.
Sandler.
Chris Pratt is playing Mario, and he sounds just like Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
No, he
what
actually
happens
did a really
in
good
a lot
job.
of cartoon movies.
Yeah.
Right? When they're like, oh, here's
like Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
It
It's
just
just
sounds
Seth-
like Seth.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
Seth Rogen sounded a lot more younger and energetic than I've ever heard him sound.
that is true.
Which is good because they're going for like he's like the big like Terry Crews muscle.
He's the muscle.
That's okay. So
He's
that,
Chris
that,
Redfield.
that is fair on
Yeah.
that.
Because it's all about like flexing his pecs and stuff.
Exactly, and it's like, oh, that fits Donkey Kong ridiculously well.
It is kind of like a younger, more energetic take on Donkey Kong rather than just like a big beast.
Yeah.
So he's a little different character in this than he is in the games, but like it's not.
Is he not like cocky and confident in the game?
No, he's just
He's like Mario. He just exists.
He's a lovable
pretend.
oaf in the games.
Yeah.
He doesn't show off in the games.
Ooh, they gave him a cocky, confident character in the cartoons or the 3D cartoon. Remember?
Nobody wants to know that.
No. Forget it.
Coconut cream all over your face.
Charlie Day was great.
I have no issues with like a lot of the performances, and in fact, throughout the movie, I was sort of being actively reminded that these performances are super good. And
Charlie Day's
Jack Black
really
is
good.
obviously
Jack
the
Black's
hero.
really good.
Jack Black's amazing.
Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek is really good. Keegan Michael Key was actually
Great.
good.
Like the energy of all the
energy.
characters is
I
absolutely
think Mario
wonderful.
and Peach are fine. Like to me, they didn't like they're good.
Oh, man.
They weren't bad. They kind of did exactly what they needed to do.
Oh, dude.
Well, I mean,
I don't really know how much more you want
so
from them.
it's like describe Princess Peach or Mario without giving
Exactly.
physical descriptions of them or what their job is, and it's almost fucking impossible.
Yeah, and it's been a struggle, and only recently have they tried to break Peach out of that. Like, you remember the end of Odyssey
yes,
when like Peach just
She has a
basically,
hero
like,
moment.
has a hero moment. She like walks away from both of them, and
Yeah.
then like the whole post game is her going on vacation. You can go and like visit her and do all that stuff. So a lot of that is like there's a lot of like Koizumi isms
Yeah, it's close enough.
of what he's done in the
It's close
last
enough.
10, 15 years to like
Yeah.
sort of
From, like,
kind of break her out of her
I
role.
don't know if he's a
But
talent.
like because we have a movie now,
the characters have to
she
be more
has
than
to
just
have
one
lines
dimensional.
and dialogue and things that she's doing. So
So that's what I like about it the most is that Luigi's always kind of had a character, right?
Yeah.
You get it. And he's like freaked out,
Yeah.
and he's always like on edge, and he's like really nervous. Like, oh, these are a lot of things. That's Luigi.
Yeah.
Mario is like confident,
Yeah.
can
He's
jump high.
Mario.
No, that's something he does.
Mario's just happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy. Like, and that's just not a character. It's
That's
never
why-
really
that's
been a
why-
character.
That's why I really feel they're gonna probably do either a Donkey Kong spinoff later or a Luigi's Mansion freaking spinoff, because I think Charlie Day could probably hold down Luigi as a character on his own, just by the performance here.
I think that'll be down the line a bit, but yeah,
I'd
it'll
like
probably
to see
happen.
just like a movie like they like well even though they like because like literally that was my problems like that they split, but I'm like they're just work really good together. So but like also like a Luigi's Mansion movie would be awesome. But yeah,
I know a point of criticism a lot of people are going to have, and it's that there's a lot of incredible orchestrated Mario music in this movie. A ton. But there is also a lot of real life music usage.
Yes.
And
I
what I
needed.
in the first couple of songs, I was kind of thrown off by it.
Yeah.
But then after like the next couple, because there's like 4 moments where they
Yeah.
actually use real life music, I understood what they were doing and I was happy with it because every single song they used was from the 80s.
Yes.
Everything was either
I
an
liked
80s
when they
pop
went to
song
the
soundtrack is
80s.
gonna
or an 80s pop song or an 80s rock song or something like that
Yeah.
because they're essentially throwing back to NES stuff.
And the funny thing is, I actually like on their own. I like all the songs that were licensed songs that were used. I like all of that. I was kind of annoyed with it in the movie,
Yeah.
just because I'm like, you could have just used a fucking game song here.
Oh, the
like
one,
it really would have gone
the
well.
one I was annoyed with was in the beginning was the Kill Bill song.
yeah. Well, it didn't.
That's
last very
true.
long.
It was like dun 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 dun. You know that one Kill Bill when they're about to fight or something like that. I'm like, there's a lot of
Yeah,
other,
at the beginning,
I forgot about that
I remember
Yeah,
the first
but
one.
all
like,
the
really
other
bad.
music was like, hey, I liked when it got super 80s in the Mario Kart part,
Yeah, I thought the when they first get there to Donkey Kong and like the Take On Me song with that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I
Take
thought the
On Me, yeah.
usage holding out for a hero was great. I was
Yeah.
like, damn. It's funny, and this is a minor spoiler, but this is the second Nintendo movie I have seen in 1 week featuring a Nintendo license and branding that uses holding out for a hero as a big moment thing. And it was in the Tetris movie and also in this movie.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got a Tetris movie and a Mario movie.
Yeah, it was in the same week.
The same week, yeah.
not to like go down too much about like, whatever. This movie showed how important and how much better it can be when you use the game music
Oh God, yes.
in your game film.
Jesus.
Which was a major failing of
Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog movies, because they don't use any of the Sonic like.
Until the credits.
Yeah, the first movie had like a tiny little piano rendition of Green Hill, and like they used Hyper Potion's friends at like the very very beginning. So it's like tiny, but they're like really brief.
There's a moment of this film that like literally is like, let's go whoop some ass with Mario and Donkey Kong, and it cuts into the most like absolutely incredible orchestrated rendition of Mario music while they're whooping ass. I'm like, this is fucking glorious, dude. Holy mother of God.
Dude, I'm like light years in the future, but since the universe does take place in real world Brooklyn and Sonic takes place in real world, they could definitely do a spinoff where the both of them meet and actually do something in the real world.
You are thinking way into the
I'm
future?
super in the
Smash
future.
What you're thinking of is the eventual where like there's
Smash
7
Brothers.
Nintendo movies and they eventually make a Smash Brothers movie.
Well, they need to make a Zelda movie then.
Absolutely. 7, like think of like 7 or 8 Nintendo movies from now.
Yeah.
It's their fucking Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's
I could
A Smash
100%
Brothers.
way down there.
A Smash
the thing
Brothers
is,
movie.
like the way this movie's projected to like be, and I think the movie's going to make a ton of money because kids are like absolutely loving it.
By the time that movie gets done, I'll have my first gray hair. It'll be crazy.
Your first gray hair.
And your second child.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the second kid. Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be crazy.
Yeah, man,
that'll be so
it'll be
nuts.
wild. But like, no, it'll be like, but like, yeah, it'd be crazy. But
I don't know if
I think it's projected to, like I said, kids. And here's the thing: kids are loving it. Young kids are loving it, and like people like us are loving it. That grew up with like the OG stuff. It is hitting on a lot of like things.
I think I actually spent like 25% of the film like quietly sobbing like a little bit of just like how well executed a lot of this shit is.
Yeah.
Like even the moments of them jumping on like Rainbow Road and stuff,
Yeah.
and there's this
Yeah.
wonderful
The eel.
triumphant moment where Mario realizes that I can drift to get boost. I'm like, this is so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like the movie is fucking wonderful.
Yeah. It never felt pandering.
It didn't feel. It never was like, look what we're doing.
Yeah.
Look what we're doing.
It
You remember
wasn't,
that?
the movie that you like, the book.
Fucking Ready Player One
One.
shit.
Yeah, it was
Already,
It was
like,
never
the whole
like that.
book is
Nothing
pandering.
like that,
The
yeah.
book, the book is
that-
pandering the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie was actually authentic and it held true to the source.
It feels like it has heart.
Yes, I really like that.
Dude, but like I said, like I don't know what's up with those critics because I'm like, damn.
Yeah, so apparently
You know?
the movie isn't critically reviewing well, but like the audience score is wild.
Yeah.
Like 99% people love it
Yeah.
audience-wise, and critically it's like under 50.
And normally I don't pay too much attention to the
but
critics.
that's
because,
fucking
like,
really weird to
Yeah.
me. Like
Because
I don't know what
sometimes-
movie they saw.
Yeah, I don't know what the reviewers
I
saw.
don't know what they wanted.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I honestly I
what
don't
they
know.
wanted.
Like,
I don't know what they
I'm
wanted.
trying to figure out like what movie they saw. Like I literally because I went in there but kind of research. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what?
I was
Sometimes-
engaged as fuck the
I
whole
was
time,
engaged.
bro.
Like
Yeah,
I laughed.
I had no idea anybody
Like,
didn't
like
like it. I had no idea people
they
didn't like
gave
it.
Mario
No idea.
a little bit of they gave Mario more character. They gave him more going on with him where he's like always sticking up for his brother. He's always there. He's always trying to save. He saves Donkey Kong.
He's-
trying
Had a
to
little bit of
but he's
Marty
also-
McFly vibes to him.
Yes, he's also got this because of like the little guy aspect
Yes.
of
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a little guy, but I'm tough type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
yeah, he never gives up kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, you could argue, Mario doesn't have an arc, and I was actually kind of glad there wasn't this moment where like Mario has to lie to Peach to do something to get to his brother, and then it gets revealed that he lied, and then she gets mad
my
at him,
God, yeah.
and then they walk
that didn't
away.
happen.
I also
Yeah,
like
it's
the,
like no, Mario doesn't have this weird like I'm gonna lie to get try to do something for the right, do
then
something
I
wrong for the right
learned.
reason. I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, they didn't have any of that bullshit, which
Yeah.
I was kind of like happy with.
I also like the arc of Luigi.
Luigi,
actually
yeah.
had an arc too, because
Yeah.
He had his moment.
He was scared for the entire movie, and then he's like, "Dude, my brother's gonna die right now. I gotta do something."
And he steps up
And
for
he
his
jumps
brother.
in and he freaking saves him.
Yeah, no, same.
And they
Yeah.
both begin. It's funny how Bowser just didn't get it at the end. Where they're like, "Yeah, they're invincible, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, like, you need to take off." And they're like, "Nah, I'm gonna fight him."
Yeah, but it was cool. Like,
but yeah,
action.
I like the arc of both characters.
The highlight of the movie, I think, is what they do with Bowser.
Yes.
Like where a lot of Jack Black's isms, like they feels like they
Yeah.
wrote in the
They
same
wrote it
way
for him, I
they
feel
like
like.
created the genie for Robin Williams. They practically wrote Bowser the way he is
Yeah,
for
for
Jack
Jack
Black.
Black, yeah.
And he gets a
100%.
lot of these like absolutely fucking incredible, hilarious moments in the
and
film.
it works.
It works wonderfully
works,
well.
man. It really works. 'Cause,
My-
never in a game you see Bowser, Peach, I love you. You're so hot. Like, you know,
Yes.
you
Peaches,
never-
peaches, peaches.
Yeah, Peach,
Like,
Peach. And
Jessica is the
oh my
biggest
God.
Bowser fan in the world. She was losing her mind.
It was
She
funny.
could not believe
that
it.
was the one thing that made me high. I was just sitting next to Jessica, and Jessica was just like
Giddy.
cracking up, laughing like as a Bowser
really-
fan.
I love
really
the
gave
fact
us-
that the
yeah.
piano was called Ludwig von Koopa.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really gave him personality, which
Yes.
I never thought the character.
Yeah,
actually
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like, he's like
started
an
a little bit
abductee
like-
terrorist,
Yeah.
right? That's what he is.
Yeah.
But now they made him like, no, he's
Started as a
actually
dark-
looking
he
for
started as a
love.
dark magician is what
Yeah.
he started as.
Really?
Like,
Yes.
really hardcore.
In the
Old
OG
school
game.
with it, yeah.
But now he's like, but he's like an estranged guy looking for love.
I would
yeah.
have liked to have seen one of his axes. You remember in the original Mario, he has like
Oh, yeah,
1,000
his
axes.
axes, yeah.
I would like to see him have an axe, like just a throwback. You know what I mean? Like something crazy.
You know,
Hammers?
yeah.
Yeah.
But they eventually not murder him, but they defeat him with like the Mario 64 toss.
Right.
And they work together for it, and I'm like, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
I was waiting for it. It's gonna happen.
Like that one scene where they're like, and I'm gonna marry Peach. Like, well, what if she says no? Lights him on fire, dude.
And then
Wait a
he
minute,
immediately
doesn't
turns
she-
into a dry bone.
Turns into a dry bone. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the comedy of the
Yeah,
film was
comedy.
really good.
Yeah.
You know?
He
Did
threw
you catch
up.
that one thing where, like, the character King Bobon, he sits down
Yeah.
and he sits on a Koopa,
Yeah.
and the Koopa goes
It starts bouncing it between the sides.
and he just like stops him.
It's like anybody that grew up with Mario in any way, like if you were a child of the 80s and 90s, you know all these weird isms that are in here because it's just jam packed with stuff like that. But is it on the center of the screen? Like, no, they don't do it. It's just like little stuff on the side. And the characters are still the focus of the movie.
They also do a thing where like they make it, they take a thing where it's like, okay, we have a situation here where a character has to do something or whatever. Is there anything from any of the games? And they even go outside of Mario. They go to Donkey Kong Country a little bit, where it's like, okay, they need to take off and fly away, right? And they use a rocket barrel, and they just it looks like the rocket barrel.
It's the out of control DK
from
rocket
the
barrel.
Country Returns and Tropical Freeze rocket barrel. Like, okay, cool. There's like a thing where like, oh, we have to get this big bullet bill, Boomer Bill, to like get distracted. So it's like he has to hit him in the eye, he has to get his, and they do the artwork of his tail whip.
Yeah.
It's the exact thing where it's just like, oh, and then like it. And I think that's part where like a critic would be like, I don't get this movie. This movie is just random nonsense.
Probably.
Like Bowser
People never
fires,
played the original games.
fires a big missile at the
Yeah,
thing, and Mario
okay.
distracts it so it follows Mario. I'm like, that is the game.
That's the fucking game,
That's
bro.
the video game.
These are
That's what you
references.
do in the
Well,
game.
here's the thing. There was a review of this lady goes, and when did Mario ever turn into a cat?
Like a decade ago.
Yes, a decade
Like
ago.
literally like
that
in
was
2012.
in a review of a lady who hated the film. She said it was one of the worst films she's seen. And in that review, she said, when did Mario turn into a cat?
Ignore
Just
critics.
ignore that.
Yeah.
It just
I'm not.
I am
acknowledge
absolutely
Yeah.
astounded that
Like-
that this movie critically isn't doing at least okay.
Dude, it's
like, that
shocking.
is really that is fucking
strange. It's
I
really
went in to
strange.
see a movie called Splice that was at 90%
Critic rating.
fucking
You wrote me into that.
I
You wrote
did
me
because
into
we're
that.
like, dude, it's sci-fi weird shit. Let's go see it with our friend. We had to go see this movie called Splice. It was a fucking cringe fiesta. I could not fucking
fiesta.
believe what I was watching, dude. I was sitting here like with my face in my hand for about 90% of the movie just because I was like, this shit is too fucking out here for me. I can't. What? They're gonna have sex with it? Oh god, dude, what the fuck is happening here?
Sit there like, what's
I'm
going
gonna-
on?
yeah.
What's happening?
I'm going to be like
Most awkward thing ever.
my conspiracy thing. I'm thinking a lot of those are rage clicks. I think that like hey, if we
Yeah,
say it's
so-
if we say it's
so then
that,
why-
I just know when like
Okay.
gamers topics. Like gamers are going to flood and be like, "Oh my god," and it's going to get views, it's going to get comments.
Okay, so what
I
you
don't-
do is
I'm
that you
just saying.
don't acknowledge it.
I don't even
Leave
think
it
it's
alone.
that. I think it's just the fact these people have never played a video game.
They've
Same
never
way I
played.
touch.
There was,
Yeah.
I think it was the Rolling Stones. I don't think it was Pete Travis. Maybe it was from the Tetris movie. They said I've never even heard. They said I've never heard of this puzzle game Tetris. Like that's in the review, and I'm like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like there was a movie critic who reviewed the Tetris movie who had never heard of the game, never heard of Tetris.
Yeah, okay, well,
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know how
but
that's possible. I mean,
probably
if
been
you
Papua New Guinea
if you
or
have been
something.
alive since after 1970, I don't know how that's possible.
Yes.
yeah.
Like he must have been.
You
like,
have to
the
check.
most-
You have to check the ages of some of these people because
I
again,
don't even like.
There's people who don't just
Well, like,
they're completely
Look,
like
I understand if you're born after 2000, you probably never heard of Tetris. It's just
No. If you're born after the 1970s, you absolutely know what Tetris is.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It was
saying.
a fucking even if you were born after
But
year
I'm
2000,
saying-
everybody knows.
Eh.
Absolutely, dude.
It's my mentality with freaking G.I. Joe. Like I feel like everyone should know fucking
Right, but
Joe.
G.I. Joe hasn't had like brand new pieces
like,
of media and games
Tetris has been-
constantly.
Tetris
Like
has got a
Tetris
ton
has
of
had
games.
things still. There was just a huge fucking Tetris game that came out.
You'd be surprised at how many people just don't like after a certain amount of time, like the stuff that we know.
Yeah, but Tetris is good.
Yes,
yeah.
you just be surprised.
Tetris does blow my mind, but I think these are just people who have no idea
Yeah,
about
this
anything.
is-
But I don't
They
even know,
probably
like,
know, video game or whatever. They have no idea what any of this stuff means. So
Yeah.
you gotta. I think what you're not getting, Kenny, here is that there are people who have no fucking concept of what any of this shit
Stuff
means.
is yes.
Yeah.
live
And
in
they
a
look
different
at this
world.
movie and they just think random shit is happening and I don't get
Get
it.
it? Yeah.
To me,
but
so
it
here's the
should-
thing.
it's a Mario movie.
To any of us, did it ever feel like just random shit is happening?
No, everything
no.
makes sense to
Everything
us.
makes sense, like
yeah.
thematically. Everything makes sense why characters are doing what they're doing, and everything in the world building has been set up to explain that. Yeah, if this doesn't make sense, it pretty much is from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they're like, why does a turtle dragon want to marry a human woman? That makes no sense.
Right. The whole thing is
they're
not-
probably like
the
thinking
whole thing is
way
nonsensical.
too much, right? Yeah, right?
And that's why I think while I
Why?
critics are just like,
Yeah.
well, it's a bare bones plot and it's just random shit.
You know what? I call complete horseshit on that because Top Gun Maverick would have gotten terrible reviews if shit didn't make sense. Shit in Top Gun Maverick is played out like an 80s schlock action movie, but it's done in a way where it just accepts you to believe it.
Yeah.
We just accept that you're going to believe that this stuff is happening with these characters, and you just take with it, and people are cool with it. But when it's a Mario movie or a video game movie, no, this doesn't make any sense.
Because it's weird
Because
and
it's
it's
weird.
colorful and it's animated and it's all these things. It's all these things most people who watch movies for a living, they don't give a fuck about.
Yes.
Animation, fantasy,
Okay.
video
I'm tired
games.
about talking
everything.
about people who don't get the movie. I'm tired of it. Leave them alone. Like
Leave them alone.
don't talk about
I
it.
agree.
Leave
there
them
you go.
alone. Let's talk about stuff that we liked about the movie.
There you go.
What was the last thing I
change.
really wanted to mention? I absolutely loved the Spaceballs reference.
Oh,
What the heck?
There's literally
I thought you were going to like the
Yes.
Terminator reference.
no, the
I saw that
Spaceballs-
the Terminator, the
Terminator reference too. I
the
forgot about
Koopa that came out of the fire.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
even had
so
it, they were
sick.
off by
The-
dun, dun,
the-
dun, dun.
Yeah, that was so
Spaceballs when
sick.
he was practicing the wedding.
Yes.
Yes,
So
and they
sick.
came in the room.
Yes.
And he's like, "Hey!" And he was dressed like Peach. Knock
on my door,
What
knock
are you
this
doing? Yeah.
And it was so cool because he actually activates it. He goes blue shell. He goes up and transforms.
Well,
into
the
blue
best
shell.
part was
It's
like,
a
you
flying
can never
around.
escape me.
Yeah,
Blue
that's good.
shell. It's like,
Oh.
this is PTSD.
Yeah, so sick,
All the
man.
Mario Kart people.
Dude, that was one of the coolest parts. I was like, dude, where are they going with this? I don't know, but it's fucking cool.
And even in moments like that, like I feel like they have to go out of their way to explain things a little bit more. Like they go out of their way a little bit to explain the mini mushrooms. They go out of their way to explain blue shell. I'm like, you
The
didn't need
mini
to do
mushroom's
that.
funny because you see him and he's just like, everyone who's played the game is like, he's fucked. And
Yeah.
then he's in, and like, oh no, the blue mushroom, right? Because they do explain
They have to explain
that.
it.
They do have to
And
explain
then
that.
literally the blue shell guy could have just been, you will never escape me! And he would have turned into the blue shell,
shell,
obviously, and run after him.
Right,
like
right.
anybody would know, but he literally has to explain blue shell.
Right,
and it's like, oh no, I get it.
If
like
you
that.
don't know the video games, that probably makes no sense to you.
Exactly.
You just be like, well, why didn't he do that from the start? Why didn't he just blue shell like?
My little weird brain gripe is like during the fight with him and Donkey Kong, he picks up the blue shell and he eats it. I'm like, all that training and she didn't teach him not to eat the freaking blue shell? Why did she tell him
the blue mushroom.
The mushroom, sorry, yeah, the blue mushroom. It's like, you should have not told him to do that. Why is he eating that?
Because they only got good ones.
They only got the good ones.
Because that's how the video games are. You don't know what it does until you
Until you eat it, right? So where's the training for?
It's
What's that
You
training
learn.
for?
You F around and find out.
You're gonna
She taught him how to do things on one level.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no blue mushroom on that level.
Yeah.
So
Teach a man to fish.
You don't learn about the blue mushroom until you get to the level with the blue mushroom.
mushroom, and then you get
It's
wrecked.
like a video game,
Right? Okay, so you said that Princess Peach was more like Daisy in this movie.
A little bit.
So if we go to Super Mario 1, she's, the timid princess, she's always being captured and Mario needs to save her.
In Mario 1, she's literally a sprite that doesn't even move.
Right. And in
Perfection.
the I don't remember too much. 2 was the frog,
dream.
right?
The frog.
So the frog, she was her own character. She was the best character. She was the most broken
She was a
character.
reskin of a Doki Doki Panic character.
And
Nice,
Super found that, yeah.
And she was literally broken. I was the main character. I used her all the time.
Everyone uses
Yeah,
Peach.
she's got
like, yeah.
Because she can float.
So her go-gettingness, I guess, of her being more aggressive in this
Actually
movie,
having a character.
actually having a character does make sense because she was like that in part 2.
Yeah.
So
this isn't outside the realm of
Well,
reality.
I don't
So
know if
I'm
it's really a character in part 2. It's probably a lot more to do with Koizumi's work
Oh, okay.
and
So
what he's been doing for the last 15 years.
so when you say that she's more like Daisy, I'm not.
So
I'm not
the
getting
difference is that Daisy is sort of
sassy.
like the slightly more tomboyish, like I'm gonna go out and
She's-
get shit done
Okay, okay.
She's
sort
the,
of character.
She's
Is
the
Daisy a
sassy, athletic
She's a
tomboy.
princess.
Yeah.
Daisy's a princess too,
Yeah.
in another castle.
Practically.
Sarah Hasselan. I can't say it.
Oh.
Sahasrarlan.
Yeah.
She exists in the same reality as the other Mario characters that
Okay,
are human.
okay.
Because the only other human Mario characters we know are Peach, Daisy, Mario, and Luigi.
And,
Right.
and Wario and Waluigi.
And Wario and Waluigi.
Waluigi.
We can ignore them.
Max Sakurai.
There is absolutely already like never any establishment of why that is.
Right.
Like this is the
just
first
there.
time they sort of do that, you know.
Right.
So I don't know, like I felt like they actually gave Peach a character.
Right,
They actually
so-
gave Mario
That's
a character.
also not true because there's human-esque kings
Rosalina?
in Mario 3 when you get the wands and change them back from animals into
That's true.
kings
Right,
in Mario
right,
3.
right.
But they're never mentioned again.
They never mentioned again.
Ever in any
Mario's
game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Rosalina.
Jeez.
Yeah, Rosalina's like, an alien.
No, she's a human.
She's 90 feet tall, bro.
Yeah.
That's just because Mario's short.
Hey, he doesn't like that.
And she floats.
So does
I know why you got the Marty McFly thing. Because of the chicken aspect of Mario McFly.
Yeah.
And Mario's got he's a short guy.
He's a short
aspect. He
guy,
doesn't
yeah.
like that.
And he's like, and he's going to stand up like Marty McFly.
That's the chicken
Always,
thing.
yeah, the chicken thing always standing
And it
up.
doesn't end up being like a crux of the character. In this, all it ends up being is like,
His power.
the fact that he is the short guy but don't always get the job done type
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll keep
Dude,
trying
the
until it's
choreography was amazing. I saw the choreography of the Rainbow Road in a trailer, and it was 10 times better in the movie. Like,
It was so
I just
fucking
was
cool.
like-
Yeah,
And then
it was
the
great.
choreography of the journey to get to Peach on the top of the freaking
The Donkey Kong and Mario team up moment is
get to the
incredible.
top of the hill.
Yeah.
And then seeing actually Peach move with the ice was freaking fantastic.
yeah,
That was
and
freaking
dude,
nuts, man.
Peach is like, I'll show you how to do this level. Like,
Yeah.
watch me, and then she just does this whole fucking thing. It's so
yeah.
sick.
And you
It's
saw
super dope.
she did the side jump. Like, you played Super Mario at
Did
a
she really
perfect
do side
time.
jumps?
She did side jump.
That's
she went
hilarious.
to that. She did the side jump into the thing hop.
That's insane.
You'll literally see
And
her
she
turn.
floated a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did the float with
She did
her,
the float at
her
the end
dress.
with the victory music.
But I'm talking about the end with the
Oh,
ice.
yeah, with the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the freaking wedding ice. Like, oh my god, dude, that looks so dope, dude. Like,
That's what you do in the games too.
I've never used icicle.
They're in a couple of like the Wii
Yeah.
Wii to Wii
They're in
U.
Mario Galaxy.
Mario Galaxy. on the-
And it's a
that's-
4-player one. That one's fun. We did play it though. And then we get the cat power and stuff. We did do 4-player
got the
Mario
kitty
Odyssey.
power.
Speaking about, I didn't see any references to Mario Party. I didn't see any references. To
A little
that.
bit like the star. The star could almost be it because he hit the question block and a star came out. So it's almost, but not. It was not much. Like there might have been small stuff.
Yeah, questionable. I just played Mario 64. You hit question blocks in that game, and stars come out too.
Yeah.
In some places. There actually was no direct
What's their
Mario Party
reference?
reference.
Yeah.
There's no reason to.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's
The next movie will be entirely the
Mario Party. The movie will be called Mario Party.
I mean, there's Mario 1, 2, 3, World, 64, There's a Sunshine reference because they have the Sunshine Dolphin Travel Agency next to the pizzeria.
Yep.
I caught that. There's that.
Punch Out Pizza.
There, the Punch Out Pizzeria, yeah. And then there's Mario Galaxy references. There's Mario Odyssey references. They even walked through a Mario Odyssey level at one point.
Pauline, the mayor from Mario, is the mayor of New York.
Yeah.
There's some, I guess you could call it New Super Mario Bros. Is just some New Super Mario. There's the weird, like, stilt guys that walk over.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even, I'm like, what are these guys from? I don't even
They're from New
know.
Super Mario Brothers, and then, like, the weird, like, I don't know what they are. They look like little, like, pods with eyeballs in the beginning. They're from...
Newer enemies.
They're from newer enemies. They're from Mario 3D World. 3D World references, obviously, the cat. So, like, they reference I believe, every single major Mario
Enemy
mainline
villain.
game.
Yeah.
Every mainline game has a reference somewhere in the movie.
And then they have a big moment of like, and I'm surprised they actually did this, and this is mega spoilers for like end credits, where there's a shot of them traversing throughout all the lands to get to Donkey Kong's land, right? And there's like a herd of Yoshis, like hundreds of Yoshis, like running across this thing. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I wonder if they're going to use that in this movie. But they don't. They essentially save it for an literal Easter egg at the end of the film for that. Like, there's going to be a Super Mario
Do you
World.
also know, though, that running herd is from the Melee intro?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's the old Melee intro. But I was surprised that they showed that earlier. I'm like, oh, we've already seen Yoshi, like, or a bunch of Yoshis.
Yeah, it was weird that Yoshi was just such a very minor cameo.
Very minor cameo, right? And then they actually hint that, oh yeah, the next movie's going to be all about that.
They don't need to be. Yeah, he doesn't need to be in the first movie. You know what I mean?
He didn't need to. But they're literally following like Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, like era style stuff. Even though there's a lot of Mario 64 in here.
Expect for the next one? We're definitely going to see
Daisy.
Daisy and Yoshi
for
Daisy
sure.
and Yoshi. Daisy is Luigi's love interest.
Diddy's probably going to.
Oh my God, the kids.
Yeah, the Bowser Jr. kids. They're going to go save his dad.
They're going to come and rescue him.
There's going to be.
Bowser Jr. will probably be like one of the main.
There's probably going to be a Donkey Kong movie with Diddy.
Simmons. Bowser lore. Has there ever been an explanation on how he got the kids?
No.
So there's no female Bowser.
We don't never see.
There's no Bowser.
Technically, the Koopa kids
are adopted, right?
The Koopa kids are not supposed to be Koopa kids. Like that's sort of like a NOA translation thing, where like they said they were his kids, not
like
just,
his minions.
Yeah, they're supposed to be just like his generals, more.
Oh, they're not his kids.
The Koopa kids became super marketable.
Yeah, so they're like the Koopa kids. They kind of like it's kind of an American thing,
translation,
technically.
Yeah.
But he does have Bowser Jr.
Yeah.
And no, they don't ever say who Bowser's Jr. mom.
But that would be kind of funny, right? Like, I could see him be like, "You left me for it." This dream, and you see like
we're breaking up.
And she's bigger than him.
The whole thing in Mario Sunshine is that Bowser Jr. kidnaps Peach because Bowser Jr. thinks it's his mom, and then at the end he realizes Peach is not his mom. But they never
really go there. That's cool. That would be something interesting. Yeah. So then, if you think that the next iteration where he gets saved, it'll be Daisy, Yoshi, the kids, and all that stuff like that. Where does Wario and Waluigi fit?
Fuck him.
Damn.
This guy.
Fuck him.
Do you really not want to see Wario and Waluigi?
I think those characters are
fuck Wario. Waluigi.
Because again, their little rival was that other plumber that they left the job from.
Well, he was
Wrecking Crew. That's Spike from Wrecking Crew, an NES game.
That's a reference to another game.
Yeah, that's a whole old NES game.
Oh wow, I've never even heard.
Because it's like there's like different weird jobs. Like Mario was the plumber guy. He was like a wrecking ball guy.
Right.
And then on his TV, he has pictures of NES tennis and golf.
Yep.
Which Mario showed up in and stuff. There's an F-Zero poster up there too.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah, man.
Did you catch that?
I missed the F-Zero poster.
You missed the F-Zero poster? Oh man, it was the SNES box art one.
Wow, that's really cool.
And like the thing is this is going to be just great. Like I think a lot of people are going to just love to buy it in Blu-ray and just like pause and look at everything.
It's gonna spawn off once again an entire Nintendo 100%. Subdivision of films, which it already technically has. Where we're gonna get like most likely a Donkey Kong movie.
Nintendo MCU.
Yes, and that's the ultimate. That's the eventuality of this whole thing is that we are going to get a Nintendo MCU. We're going to continue forward. We're NCU. We're going to be like 7 or 8 movies into this shit, and then it's going to lead to Smash Brothers. But hopefully, this does actually, kick some other giant Japanese corporations in the ass and convince them to actually do cinematic renditions like this for like Capcom could fucking do it 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, Legendary's doing Street Fighter.
Legendary is now doing it. We just got an announcement that Legendary is going to make a live action Street Fighter movie. That's happening.
Dust Golem rumor said there was a rumor he heard about, couldn't confirm about.
Simmons
rebooting RE movies again, starting with 0.
I'm shocked. There's a big
Who's directing it?
We have no idea. No, it was a very early announcement of like collaboration.
Oh, okay. So we're still in the dark.
But imagine like on this scale of like, give us a modern day take on like Astro Boy, but it's Mega Man.
But it's Mega Man.
You know, how fucking great! Oh, what wonderful of a movie would that be? That'd be so goddamn
Maybe
cool.
it would be a lot of fun.
Like a Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3 era Mega Man.
What if they did go like the full Captain N route and it leads to the Smash Brothers?
And that's what I mean.
And
Eventually,
it's like, what if Mega Man and other third parties are in there? It's like a one-off deal, like Avengers is.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we're gonna do a Smash Brothers movie.
I mean, movies have done
but
it.
we're gonna get Sonic and Mega Man.
I think
the
that can
Lego
absolutely
movie
happen.
and
Like,
Pac-Man,
yeah,
but we got to get approval, of course.
We're
but
essentially going to get like the Roger Rabbit of our time was Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Right? But not executed great. Imagine if like the proper Roger Rabbit of our time is actually a Super Smash Brothers movie that incorporates all these different franchises and it's done by Illumination or something like that, but we build up to their Avengers Endgame, you know, which is the Smash Brothers movie. That'd be Jesus. But I think in like 10 years' time, I think that's an absolute reality. Because this movie's great. It's going to do super well.
It's going to make a ton of money. And like, you know, like the kids are going to love it. I would say this. I told this in the beginning. I like the Sega Cinematic Universe logo better than the Nintendo.
The Nintendo one was very simple.
Yeah, it was simple. It was cute. It reminded me of the Mario, the Steamboat Willie.
I had criticisms.
From Mickey, the Steamboat Willie.
I had criticisms. Mario's the wrong color.
Mario's the wrong color.
in the intro, it is because he's his modern day color.
He's his modern day color.
It's not his like rust.
It's not the old school like brown and off white Mario.
Yeah.
It's not that one. But yeah, it's the Sega one. You see like Space Channel 5 and like fucking Fighters Megamix in there, and like holy shit, like this is fucking
you see a
wild.
bunch of like cool ass altered
Old
beats.
Sega stuff.
Cool old dead franchise.
yeah,
I feel like they didn't want to do that because they don't want to make you like already there's going to be people like, oh, they're going to do this or that. If the Nintendo thing did it, it'll spew like a fandom that they might not want. So they kept it simple. It's just like Mario and Luigi sucking each other off.
Yeah, right.
What criticism would you have for this movie?
I do feel. Let me think about it. Go on. You go.
Mine was literally this Mario and Luigi weren't.
You wanted more Mario and Luigi.
I wanted more Mario and Luigi being brothers because they were great together.
I would say the biggest problem is that some stuff gets rushed. Like Mario meets the princess, and he's like, "All right, let's go. Let me try this." Like, there's like no establishing. It's just boom right into this.
The transition between when he got out of the whale and then he landed, and they're gonna go rescue the princess. That montage was almost instantaneous, and it was like, "Fucking go now!" And it was kind of rushed to the point where they got up there, and then things started to slow down.
They definitely we need to get to our next plot point.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of modern filmmaking. We need to get to our next plot point.
There's a couple moments where it's just kind of like we don't have time to sit here and have a discussion between these characters.
Don't expect a Studio Ghibli movie. Of just like we just want to sit here, or like an Avatar thing. We just want to sit here with these characters and just exist in this world. No, we got shit to do.
We need to have this.
We have to show you stuff.
We need a training montage scene, but we need to get to it real quick. So Mario going from Mario's never met Peach to Mario's training on a level hero montage. That happens probably within like 2 minutes or less of screen time.
Well, the same thing.
It's just kind of like we got to get through.
It doesn't feel like it detracts from the whole movie though, because the rest of the movie's pace was pretty much with us.
Yeah.
But the same thing with the Toad. The Toad literally goes up, it's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go with you guys," and she's like, "Okay." And then the Toad
like,
and I was like, "What?"
Well, Peach does have a character thing where she comes from and I got this. She comes from a nation of everything's cute and adorable.
Yeah.
So they're not really good at being brave, or like fighting or something like that.
Makes you wonder how is she?
But that's true. That she is like a big outlier, which is why they essentially choose her to be the queen.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because she can protect them.
Yeah.
But the moments where you have other characters like Mario that express like an interest of saving somebody, of doing something heroic, she's like, okay, let's see what you're made of. Let's see if you're actually heroic. And then you get a Toad that is actually choosing to do something brave, which is probably different than most Toads, which just run around, if not do their jobs and stuff. She's like, this is, to me, like, it set itself up and it already had an explanation of why she's acting that way.
Yeah, it's not like things don't make sense. It's just like they
just happen fast.
There's moments where they just kind of like
Super fast.
Moment to moment, just get to the next thing.
Yeah.
My one little gripe I thought was kind of strange was not understanding how old is Mario. Like,
Oh, he's a younger guy. He's like in his 20s or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because it was just strange.
Probably like 26, 27.
Like this is like his like he's had a job before with Luigi, and now they're doing a new job, but it's like their first venture into like an actual.
It seemed like he was a teenager. It seemed like the way because when he was in the room,
He started his own business. I don't think.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But it's like, okay, he's in the room playing the game, but he has a full-grown mustache, and then when he goes in there, when he goes into the other world, he kind of has that cocky teenager.
wait,
You know what? Here's a
Wait,
criticism.
are you implying that like people, don't sit in their rooms and play video games after they're adults now?
No, I'm not saying
Secret
that. I'm
Whoa.
not saying that. I'm saying that it seemed like it was more childish nature of him for him to be like, "Oh, you don't believe in me, Dad? Okay, I'm sad. I'm gonna go to my room." Like that's kind of like it felt like. It was
Of
like
a mid-20s
Yeah.
person, I think that is emphatically relatable.
Oh, is
nowadays.
it okay?
Maybe not back in the day when maybe in the 80s and before where you could move out and get a job and shoot.
Right, yeah.
That I think is a much more relatable situation in the last 30 years
Okay.
where people cannot immediately become insanely self-dependent.
I totally get
Yeah.
that. I think
It's
I
a
think
comfort thing.
Yeah, I know exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's what kind of threw me off, and then his attitude when he first got onto onto the island and was super confident. It felt like more teenager vibes than it was an adult Mario.
He comes across as a Marty McFly kind of character.
So in the games, Mario is like what?
He has
30?
fucking nothing, bro.
There's nothing.
Nobody knows
Never
shit for dick.
knows.
He's a
I
red
think
guy.
Simmons would know.
Mario literally has
all
nothing.
the artists he played, it never says like, "Oh, Mario born in 1970."
Mario is a red guy
Maybe,
that
like,
jumps.
I think
Yeah.
Miyamoto made a comment once where it was kind of like, yeah, he's like a young guy, like early 20s or something.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
like, oh, was he? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he probably made that up on the
To me,
spot.
On the
yeah,
spot,
he made it on
yeah.
the spot. To me, he's like a 30-year-old.
He's Mario is a stand-in for Popeye.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will say the one thing that kind of took me out of the situation, and I wish they sort of did this for storytelling purposes. There's like a lot of use of 80s music throughout the movie, right?
Yeah.
Which feels like, it's directly referencing Nintendo and Mario. But for some reason, Brooklyn, real life Brooklyn, is taking place in like modern times or something. They have cell phones, they have like iPhones,
Yeah.
they have like flat screen TVs, and I'm like, why couldn't this have been in the 80s? It feels like this would make a bit more sense just in general of like the music choices and everything.
Because they're getting ready to tie it in with Sonic.
Could be. I mean, that actually is a fair assumption.
Yeah,
Right? It felt like it would have made a bit
but
more
I
sense.
I think it's just for kids.
I think it's for
Yes,
kids.
and more relatable towards kids of like Mario is
Like a
just like
cell
me
phone.
with my cell phone.
If Mario had to like go to a payphone or something like that, like kids would be like, "What?"
Exactly, and I think that's a good point.
Just confused.
I feel like thematically the movie's like setting up for all of this. That like they should be from like this time period, but they're not. Like they're just in modern day, modern day cheesy Brooklyn.
Man, it's going to happen.
Even though they're playing Nintendos
Yeah.
and they're playing old arcade games, like anyway.
it's like an old pizzeria shop. So-
Sure,
Yeah.
but still, like that doesn't happen nowadays.
Yeah.
It was super.
Yeah, what was he
definitely
playing? He was
feel
playing
80s.
Kid Icarus.
he was playing.
Kid
Well, he was
Icarus.
playing Kid Icarus in his room. He was
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
Jumpman. Charles Martinet was playing Jumpman in the arcade.
Yeah.
The original name of Mario.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, like, oh my god.
So
Mario and Sonic team up together to fight John Leguizamo.
I don't think it was
I think that
They
should be...
team up and they discuss their power levels.
that's what it's... And Sonic just turns gold and super.
That's not going to happen, just letting you know, probably. Because one's a live-action hybrid
Yeah.
by Paramount, and this is an animated film by Universal. Like, I don't foresee it happening.
Yeah, it will happen.
I
No,
don't.
Sonic will ditch the live action people and he'll end up in their world.
Man, you're just screaming to the Sonic fandom now, Steve.
Yeah, it's going to do it.
You're literally
These two
screaming to the
characters
heavens of the Sonic fandom.
No,
the go-tos,
there'll be a short on like a digital release, and it'll be Mario and Sonic will meet at the Olympics.
Oh,
Yay! The Avengers Endgame. The Infinity War is complete. Mario goes to the
They'll meet
Olympics.
at the Olympics.
Oh man.
That's where it's happening. But
The end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the movie.